Rogue agent detected.
Wonder what skills I should use to fight these guys.
Rogue Stinger Hive detected.
You are isolated, my friend.
Pick up that hostile. I'll make it quick.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Crap.
Sorry.
Doing what needs to be done. This was me. Not today.
Wreck.
Rogue agent eliminated.
Okay, here we go. That should get their attention. Head to the service entrance on the east side of the building.
You can't stop me.
Anything that moves. There's an enemy coming. Shoot every last one.
That's what you get, you dumb sons of bitches.
You doing all right there, Kelso?
As long as I'm not breathing asbestos.
This build is the cousin of one of my all-time favorite builds, one that brings instant nostalgia when thinking of it. It's the build I showcased for my 1000 subscriber video a long time ago, and one that was actually the first hybrid tank that shocked the Division 2 community when it was revealed. The Liberty Technician, a seemingly perfect tank build with a flawless method used to dominate anyone on the receiving end of its shield. It's not only a tank, but a massive damage dealer, which makes playing as a tank very fun and rewarding. I've decided to expand the family of hybrid tanks by bringing you the Liberty Demolitionist. The difference between the two are defined to a specified purpose. A technician is one who can access and be efficient with technical skills like striker drones, turrets, and certain pulse variants. A demolitionist is one more robust, able to effectively handle explosives like a sapper. Sticky bombs, shrapnel traps, and artillery are his forte. Now, I'm not going to say this is more powerful, but it deals a ton of damage as well, while offering survivability with 45% native explosive damage, over 150% headshot damage, and immune to any form of disruption. This build is formidable and scarier than ever. I have to say that when thinking of this, I had a utopian moment because I'm using a setup rarely used, but is extremely effective. I've only utilized it in one other build, and that one made it into my Hall of Fame builds library. So if you're interested in builds from DPS all the way to skill, then don't hesitate to like the video and subscribe to my channel for dedicated Division content. Now let's get into it. So check this out. And in order to make this work, you'll need to have the build set up in a specific way, because you want to be immune to disrupt, but you also need damage that can run through enemies. And I just want to say something real quick regarding the Division 2 difficulty as of late. I tweeted something out saying that this game had gotten more difficult. I realized it when running the latest Manhunt. I died more than I ever had before. That's because I'm used to running Heroic a particular way. It's not that hard, so you could usually run it without thinking about it. But surprisingly, I had to step my game up, and it was annoying. My squad and I quickly noticed that something was off. My theory is that the NPC's difficulty increased due to the new expertise system. So if you don't upgrade, then you're pretty much stuck being less of a threat against all those enemies. So the expertise system basically forces you to upgrade if you want to compete and feel powerful like before. Tell me what you think of this in the comments below. I said all that because coming into this build video, I wanted to have my expertise at least halfway to maximum, and I can actually feel the power difference, and I don't want to be left behind, you know what I mean? Anyways, on to the build. This does many things at once, so everything here must be rolled accordingly in order to achieve these exact results. The purpose is to deal massive weapon damage and have strong explosives to accompany that. And don't forget about the survivability. So for the primary weapon, I got the Liberty Exotic Pistol, and coming off the bench is the Regulus Pistol. So you can switch in between these two, but the reason it's not a front runner is because so many of you don't have it. The Liberty is so much easier to attain. Plus, the build is called the Liberty Demolitionist, right? And this specialization is just right for the build. It's the only one that allows you access to the artillery turret, which is devastating to say the least. It grants 5% damage to targets out of cover for your allies while in combat, 20% burn resistance. I mean, so much on the skill tree, but the main aspect on it is the 10% explosive damage it gives you. This with the Liberty as your main weapon are a deadly duo, because the Liberty gives you weapon damage stacks and repair stacks to your shield once consuming them with a headshot, after hitting them in the body as many times as you want, but it does have a cap up to 30%, and it's the only weapon you'll need on this build. The others you see are just placeholders. Now for the build, you want headshot damage, Pro, and skill damage, but that's 3 attributes, so how can you pull this off? Well, you'll need to choose which is best for your 2 attribute slots. I wanted as much headshot damage as possible, and it's also a preference whether or not you want to be immune to disrupt. I personally love it when hunters try to jam my skills and nothing happens. And if you're okay with getting disrupted, then go ahead. But the reason why I decided to go this way and not roll skill damage is because when you have explosive damage, 45%. In fact, this is enough to demolish anything in sight, especially with the artillery turret. I mean, if you add just a little bit of skill damage on top of that, it will propel your explosive damage a ton. And one of these sources is the Sacrifice chest piece, Perfect Glass Cannon. This chest piece does so much. It allows you to achieve both amplified weapon and skill damage. I'm sorry to interrupt, but YouTube notifications are terrible, so I had to take matters into my own hands and let you know what I got going on. I came here from my second channel, Identity Games, and would love it if you could support me there as well. A total different vibe you'll get, and the best thing is that you don't even have to leave this video. Just click this link and subscribe, but make sure that afterwards you come see me over there. Identity Games is a game dev channel where I'm developing my own project, an open world RPG looter shooter. Check it out and let me know what you think of it. It also, for the first brand piece, gives 15% headshot damage. I don't see a better chest piece that will give me what I need for this build. I don't worry about the amplified damage that I take because I rarely take any, honestly. The Bulwark shield has my back. This skill is why I call it a hybrid tank. It's the first skill I'm using, and no matter how squishy I am, my shield isn't. And that Bulwark I consider an extension of me. There are only a few enemies that can take my shield down before I can kill them. I have too much headshot damage along with my explosive skills that back me up. As I stated before, you are a demolitionist at heart, so use whichever explosive you prefer for your second skill. That's the beauty of this build. You can choose from the sticky bomb, the shrapnel trap, whatever you like. And here's why there's so much headshot damage. You already know about the Sacrifice with Providence. Well, the next value is Punch Drunk, also offering multiple benefits. The 20% pistol damage bonus with the named 20% headshot bonus. And I'm not done with the headshot damage values. The setup that I was talking about is rarely, if not at all, used. Not 1, not 2, but a 3-piece Grupo Sombra. The 2 for the explosive damage and the 3rd for another 15% headshot damage value. There are very few builds that you can use this in. Like, who's going to use crit damage, explosive damage, and headshot damage? That just seems like a combination that doesn't need to be together. But I made it work here. This build is very synergistically based. Can you see it? Can you feel it? I know I can. Now the final piece on the build is of course China Light to get that other explosive damage bonus. Oh, and I almost forgot. The backpack talent I'm using is Vigilance, one that is slept on. Not normally, but only in cases like this when using the Bulwark shield. Because when your shield is being shot, Vigilance is still active. How about that? Sick, right? It's the same concept as when you have bonus armor. Vigilance is still up. Now I know you've been itching to check out the stats because you and I both know that there's a lot going on here. So here are the stats so you can see for yourself. And let me tell you something, fam. I really like this build a lot, and I just know you will too. Plus, if you want to unequip your Liberty and use the capacitor instead, turn this build into something else completely, it's your choice. I'm gonna stick to this for a while though. Thanks for watching to the end. I appreciate you. And on that note, I'll see you in my next video. Be right out.